The last session I went to on Friday at the National Council of Teachers of Mathematics Conference in Washington, D.C. was entitled Strategies to Enhance Long-Term Learnings. The presenters, whose names were Monica Clark and Jennifer Tadlock, had some really good suggestions on things to help students learn a long time. In short, what they need is to have for us to frequently circle back and reassign concepts that we've already covered. They've got several different terms that they talk about in this, which included retrieval practice, space practice, and interleaved practice. And we're going to take a closer look at each one of those terms and what they actually mean. So we started off with a little bit of practice work on our own, and then we went straight into, from there, defining the terms of what they're talking about. Retrieval practice, which examples could be bell ringers, solving problems just randomly brought up into class, mid-lesson checks for understanding, things of that nature. They defined it as a learning strategy where we focus on getting information out through the act of retrieval or calling information to mind. Our memory for that information is then strengthened, and forgetting is less likely to occur. So what does that actually mean? Well, what that means is that in the the way we should be teaching the lessons is we give an assignment, and then we wait some time period, and then we give the same type of problems again, even if we have not retaught it. And so the students have to retrieve that knowledge, retrieve those skills, bringing them back into their more current memory. And by doing this, they're more likely to actually remember the material. Going down from here, it says that by using retrieval practice as a learning strategy, not as an assessment tool, we exercise and strengthen our memory. It improves the student's complex thinking and application skills. It improves student organization of knowledge and students' transfer of knowledge to new concepts. In other words, retrieval practice does not just lead to memorization, it also increases the student's understanding. An additional benefit of retrieval practice is it helps us to identify gaps in learning. So we taught a concept, we gave an assignment, everybody was good, and we go away from it for a few days. Well, you give those same type of problems again, and let's see how they do. Maybe they didn't learn it as well as we thought they did, and this is an opportunity for us to find those gaps so we can fix them as well. Another crucial benefit of retrieval practice for the students is metacognition, or awareness of what they know and what they don't know. That's a really big deal for kids when they start realizing, I know this, but I don't know that, and therefore this is what I need to study. By engaging in retrieval practice, students are able to evaluate what they know and what they don't know, making better study decisions. Going down from there, on that same concept, a study guide, for example, the extra credit reviews I give my kids before tests, that is a good opportunity for some retrieval practice to go on, but also helps to help my students find out what they don't know. I always tell them it's not about earning 5 stupid points. It's about making sure they're ready for the test. Use the study guide to figure out what you don't know, and then go in and drill down on those problems so that you're ready to rock and roll on that test the next day. Scrolling down to their next concept, it is spaced practice. Spaced practice involves giving a given amount of time devoted to learning and arranging that time into multiple sessions or spread out over time. So for example, if you're going to give an assignment that has 20 minutes worth of work on it, don't give the 20 minutes worth of work on adding integers all in one day. Give 10 minutes on the first day, a few days later, give 5 minutes, a few days later, give another 3 minutes, a few days later, give another 2 minutes, so that you're taking and spacing out that practice, and by doing that, it makes the concepts much more concrete in the students' minds, helping them to learn it better. Going down from there, they had several worksheets here on types of space practice. We're going to skip through that And boom, here we go. Have some more information about how much space is really needed. Well, the short answer is the more space, the better. The more you group out the spacing within reason between your different practice sessions, the more likely it is the students are going to learn things. So, for example, don't do add a few problems today, a few problems tomorrow, and a few problems the next day. Instead, you want to do a few problems today, a few problems 3 days from now, a few problems a week and a half from now, and so on, increasing that spacing so that there's a bigger gap in the time, and the students have to dig in a little bit deeper in their memories to help them pull out the information about what they do and don't know. Also, you're not using the same exact pattern every time. I have no idea why this makes a difference, but it's not going to be every third day you're doing the same problems in retrieval practice. There needs to be variations between how frequent the retrieval practice problems come out. I don't understand why that matters, but the presenter said it does matter. Scrolling down from there, the last concept they covered is interleaved practice. Interleaved practice is simply a set of problems mixed in a certain way. Practice problems are interleaved if the problems are arranged so that the consecutive problems can not be solved using the same type of strategy. In other words, mix up your type of problems. Don't spend an entire day on just adding, or entire assignment on just adding integers. You need to mix up the problems in there. So they gave us 3 examples here. The first example, they had 4 problems involving scientific notation. And in the end, all 4 problems are practicing the same exact skill, scientific notation. So is this interleaved problems? No, it is not. The next day, or the next assignment they gave, showed you a scientific notation and another scientific notation, and then they had add integers, subtract integers, multiply integers, and divide integers. Now, the first set of problems are related, the last 4 problems are related, but each one of those problems require a different skill set or process. Therefore, the answer is yes, those are going to be interleaved. And then the best example of interleaved type problems, you have an integer problem, a scientific notation problem, a solving an equation problem, and a volume problem. 4 problems that have nothing at all to do with each other. Great example of interleaved problems. In closing, what do we need to be doing with our work? First thing we need to be doing is having that retrieval practice where the kids have to go back and pull up skills that have already been learned and taught so that they can practice them again. That retrieval practice needs to be spaced out, and the assignments we give, the problems need to be interleaved instead of grouped into common assignment types. If you have any questions and you're in my school, you know where to find me. If you're not in my school and you're out in YouTube land, I'd look forward to hearing from you in the concepts. I look forward to hearing from you in questions in the comment section. Please send me anything you'd like to talk about. I'd like to learn a little bit from you, and hopefully you've learned a little something from me today. Y'all have a good day.